Oh, Middleham today. I can't believe how warm it is. 16 degrees Celsius. Normally when you go up the dale, the temperature drops. It's a lovely warm day. We're anyway walking across this field. You see all these white things. And if they are what I think they are, let's go and have a look. And they are. They're giant puffballs. And they're edible, more to the point, before they go turn brown inside. Here's another one. Sadly, compared with my hand, it's gone over. It's produced the spores inside. You can see there. You know, kind of like dry sponge. When you squeeze it, spores come off like smoke. It's actually growing here. Normally they're tucked away in long grass, you don't often see them. But, well. I was hoping to find some bluestalks up here, but they haven't appeared yet. And there are more of them. But again, they're all too late. They want to be white inside if you're going to eat them. But they are very tasty when you find a younger one. This one specimen will produce about 5 or 6 billion, not million, billion spores. Just blow away in the wind. Fortunately, very few of them continue to produce giant puffballs. These are the biggest of all the fungus you find in this country. Otherwise we'd be knee deep in the blooming things. It's a spectacular thing. And under this tree of these small apples called crab apples. Years ago people used to collect them to make crab apple jelly. We used to have with pork, if you could ever afford pork. Now they just lie here rotting. I'm just meandering back across the field to the river, and lo and behold, a ring of bluestalks. I'll show you why they're called bluestalks in a minute. Absolutely cracking before the frost gets to them. And you can see why they're called bluestalks, because the stalks are a faint lilac colour. See if we can find a better specimen. You can see it there. That lilac colour on the stalk. And they're very tasty, these. They're really nice. They're not quite as nice as field mushrooms, but by come they are. They are lovely. Anyway, I'm going to gather these up and stick them in a bag. Well, what do you know? Wonderful. I'll take them in a bag and take them home. And they keep for quite a long time, these. They're quite firm-fleshed. And I've left quite a few small ones. So I'll come back in about a week's time and pick them. Well, no, let's get back to the fishing. Well, it's 3 o'clock and I'm just going to fish this stretch above the bridge. The river is back down, it's quite low. Of course up here it goes up and down really quickly. It's quite coloured. And the rain, the big rain clouds which were over there seem to have gone, so it's probably going to be a lovely afternoon. But it is incredibly warm. I was just talking to an angler, there's only 2 of us here. And yesterday he had 6 nice grilling on this Leeds Dassa stretch up at Middleham. Well, the water temperature is 12. It's about 53 Fahrenheit. That's really very warm for up here. I don't suppose the grilling will switch on in any meaningful way until we get a bit more flow. You know, the roof comes up a little bit and the temperature of the water falls. I mean, while I'm sitting here, there are bees backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. Honeybees. They must be working the very last of the Himalayan balsam, which is upstream of me. But it just shows how warm it is. But so far, not a sniff of a fish. I can't even catch a minnow on maggots. I mean, that's how bad it is. If I look to the north of here, really ominous rain clouds. It might be a judicious time to make my way home. You can see them there sneaking over the Pennines. I suspect it's probably raining up the dale quite heavily. I thought we might see the barn owl today, but I suppose with the it's got no young to feed and days are getting shorter and nights becoming longer. There's no pressure for it to come out during daylight hours. It'll probably emerge, you know, late into dusk. It's great to see them up here. Lovely. Well, it's lovely to see barn owls anyway. Well, this is just have a quick look at the River Yore at Kilburn Bridge on my way home from Middleham. Very ancient thing. And these pillars are standing on the remains of a Roman bridge. When the water's low, you can see it. Sort of great slabs held together with iron bands. And above here, when I was on the opposite bank, is Thornley Angling Club's water. And below here, on this bank, is the Thornton Water Spucking Fly Fishers Club. This is the view of Kilburn Bridge on the downstream side. Trees just beginning to change. And on this upstream pillar, you can see that there is a stone missing. And there's a legend that goes with that. But you'll have to look it up. I made a video about it a while ago. So the bridge remains incomplete, which is part and parcel of the legend. There's your blue stalk, and they're preparing me just put the stalk off, and then any rubbish you just brush it off. Bits of grass and whatever else is on there, sheep muck, I have no idea. But they don't peel, they're not like mushrooms, you don't peel them. You know, comes the health and safety bit. There are lots of mushrooms have, or fungi have, a similar top to that. It's just a sort of dull beigey brown colour. Some of them will just give you a dose of the trot, but there are some of them they'll have you trotting off to see your maker, even if you only eat one of them. So if you don't know what you're doing, then you best just leave fungus collecting alone, or go on some fungus collecting foray. There are loads of them about at this time of year. Just about every country house seems to have a fungus foray. Well, that'll do us just nicely. I just need frying now. And the thing about them is, like, same as mushrooms, if you fry them too quickly, then the top becomes quite leathery. So it's a patience game. Just put them in and just on a very low heat, just let them bubble away, and then just test them with a fork every now and then. And there you can see the all the blue stalks, pale lilac stalks really. I'll just slice them up rather than really slowly. You can fry them in butter if you want to be really indulgent. This is just rapeseed oil, which doesn't have much taste. It doesn't mask the taste of the blue stalk. I just put a lid on there and just leave them to let it stew away. So, this I'm done. So, a little bit of salt and pepper on there, and that will do very nicely. A very seasonal dish, blue stalks. And we last for 2 or 3 weeks.